Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please welcome to the stage your host for this evening's program and Washington National Opera vocal coach, Ken Weiss.
Good evening, everybody. This is our last performance on the Millennium stage for this season, and before we all split up to go to summer festivals and whatnot, we thought we'd give you a program of things appropriate for springtime, opera and song, and also a little peek at what's coming up next season at Washington National Opera. But before we do that, we're going to start by wrapping up this season. There is one performance left in the Opera House for this season. It's Rossini's Cinderella, or La Cenerentola. And the performance is tomorrow night. If you haven't seen it, it's a wonderful piece, funny and charming and heartfelt in equal measures. And to give you an idea of what you could expect, we're going to give you some other Rossini right now. This is an excerpt from The Barber of Seville to start us off. For most of The Barber of Seville, Rosina is trying to get together with a guy named Lindoro, and she's enlisted the help of her barber friend Figaro to do it. And in this scene, they finally manage to get together. On a dark and stormy night, Lindoro and Figaro have leaned a ladder up against Rosina's balcony, and they've snuck into her room, and Rosina and Lindoro are going to elope. Except Lindoro has just revealed something shocking. His name's not Lindoro. It's Almaviva, and he's not a poor student, as Rosina thought. He's a rather wealthy count. The lovers are ecstatic. Meanwhile, Figaro is very worried that if they don't elope soon, the whole plan is going to fall apart. So as Rosina, we're going to hear mezzo-soprano Alexandra Romano, as the Count Almaviva, tenor Rexford Tester, as Figaro, the barber, baritone Christian Bowers, and at the piano, Joel Ayau. Here's the trio Zitto Zitto Piano Piano from Rossini's The Barber of Seville.
Quel colpo inaspettato, egli stesso, o te che sento di sorpresa e di contento.
Rimasti senza fiato, oh l'amore non ti contento, guarda, guarda mio talento, che bel colpo seppe far. Qual trionfo inaspettato, è felice, oh bel momento. Senza fiato, senza fiato, oh l'amore un tal contento, guarda, 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 guarda mio talento, guarda, guarda mio talento, che bel colpo seppe far.
Mio signor, ma io, non più, bel mio, il bel nome di mia sposa, idol mio t'attende già. Il bel nome di tua sposa, a qual gioia il cor mi dà. Sei contenta? Ah, mio signore, ah, mio signore,
Now some music for springtime from France and from Germany and from Austria. First, we're going to have from soprano Raquel Gonzalez, Reynaldo Ahn's paying to this return of springtime and lilacs. It's called Le Printemps. Then a song that Richard Strauss wrote as a wedding present for his own bride, the soprano Pauline Dagna. It's called Cecilia, and it sort of embodies all the rapturous excitement of springtime. And then a little music from Mozart to be sung in a garden. This is from sort of the sequel to The Barber of Seville, which we just saw. You know, Rosina and the Count, they get married. And then a couple of years later, it's not working out so well. The Count is cheating on her. Specifically, he is chasing after her chambermaid, a girl named Susanna. So Rosina and Susanna are laying a trap for the Count. Susanna has agreed to meet him in the palace gardens after dark, but Rosina is planning to go instead and catch her husband red-handed. And in the number you're about to see, they're working out the details of exactly where he should meet her. They're going to write him a little note just hinting at the proper location for the rendezvous. The duet is called Consonata Solaria. We're going to hear it from soprano Carrie Ottagno and soprano Raquel Gonzalez. First, welcome Raquel Gonzalez for Le Printemps by Reynaldo Ahn. At the piano, Tomoko Nakayama.
Oh Consonata Solaria stasera sferirò nel boschetto e già il resto
And now to start our look at what's coming up next season at Washington National Opera. The season opens on September 19th with Bizet's Carmen, the story of the ill-fated romance between the gypsy Carmen and the naive young soldier named Don José. Carmen is the quintessential free spirit, and she tells us so the very first time she shows up on stage, when she sings the famous habanera. And she says, "Love is like a wild bird, no one can tame it. You search for it, and it eludes you. You give it up, and there it is, taking hold of you." We're going to hear the habanera from mezzo-soprano Alexandra Romano.
Quand vous aimerez, ma foi, je ne sais pas. Peut-être
So Carmen opens September 19th, and watch for a performance of Carmen featuring Domingo Cafritz young artists in the lead roles. After Carmen, in November, we start a winter season of all opera in English. We start with a world premiere, the revised version of Philip Glass's opera Appomattox, which weaves together the stories of the end of the Civil War in 1865 and then the civil rights struggle 100 years later. The production features Richard Paul Fink and Domingo Cafritz alumnus Solomon Howard. After that, it's our annual holiday opera. This year, it's Humperdinck's fairy tale opera, Hansel and Gretel. We're going to hear an excerpt in just a minute or two. We're going to hear the evening prayer that the two children sing as they go to sleep lost deep in the forest. And then in February, we'll have Kurt Weill's Lost in the Stars. This is the story of a minister, a black minister in apartheid area, South Africa, whose world begins to crumble when his own son kills a white man during a robbery, and the Reverend goes into a crisis of faith. The production stars Eric Owens. It comes to us from Cape Town Opera. We're today going to hear the title song, Lost in the Stars, as sung by Solomon Howard. But first, please welcome back Alexandra Romano, changing a lot from Carmen into Hansel, and Raquel Gonzalez as Gretel in the evening prayer from Hansel and Gretel.
God made the sea and the land. He held all the stars in the palm of his hand, and they ran through his fingers like grains of sand. And one little star fell alone. Then the Lord God hunted through the wide night air for the little dark star on the wind down there. And he stated and promised he'd take special care, so it wouldn't get lost again. Now a man don't mind if the stars grow dim and the clouds blow over and darken him, so long as the Lord God's watching over them, keeping track how it all goes on. But I've been walking through the night and the day till my eyes get weary and my head turns gray, and sometimes it seems maybe God's gone away, forgetting the promise that we've heard him say. And we're lost out here in the stars, little stars, big stars, blowing through the night. And we're lost out here in the stars, little stars, big stars, blowing through the night. And we're lost out here in the stars, in the stars.
There's more American opera on the way in the winter, too. Brand new American opera that we're presenting in the Terrace Theater through our American Opera Initiative commissioning program. In December 2nd, we present 3 brand new 20-minute pieces. And in January, we'll present the world premiere of Better Gods, an hour-long piece about the last queen of Hawaii, Liliuokalani. Let me get that right. It's by Luna Pearl Wolf with libretto by Caitlin Vincent. And then, in May, the Washington National Opera is going to present, for the first time, Wagner's complete Ring of the Nibelungen. It's a cycle of 4 operas. They're based on the same sagas that inspired Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, and they tell a similar story about a ring of great power. In this case, it's a ring forged with gold stolen from the nymphs of the Rhine River. And that combination of great power based on a crime makes the world so unstable that eventually it brings down even the gods of Valhalla. It's a tremendous undertaking. It's the biggest undertaking an opera company can get involved in. 4 massive operas, dozens of principals, a huge orchestra. But it's totally worth it, because this is a cycle that encompasses literally the beginning and end of the world. And on the way, you get music that evokes the greatest despair and the greatest violence, and also the greatest triumph and the greatest ecstasy. We're going to give you just a little sample right now. This comes from the 2nd opera of the cycle, Die Valkyrie, or the Valkyrie. And the backstory is this. The king of the gods, Wotan, had twins by a mortal woman. Their names were Sigmund and Sieglinde. The twins got separated as children, and things have not been going well for them. Sigmund has been going around as a wandering knight. Sieglinde got married off to an abusive husband named Hunding. in the scene you're about to see, Siegmund has found Sieglinde again, and he has the sense that their long exile is ending. He says, winter's storms have yielded to a joyful moon, and in the soft light, spring is glowing. See, it's more spring music. We're going to hear the aria Winterstürme wichen dem Wonnemond from tenor Michael Brandenburg. Again, at the piano is Tomoko Nakayama.
Stürme wichen dem Wonnemond, im milden Lichten leuchtet der Lenz, auf linden Lüften leicht und lieblich, wunderwebend sich wiegt, durch Wald und Auen weht sein Atem, weit geöffnet lacht sein Aug. Vöglein sange süß ertönt, holde Düfte hauchte auch, einen warmen Bluten blühen wundige Blumen, Keim und Sprossen springt seine Kraft. Mit zarter Waffen bezwingte die Welt, Winter und Sturm wichen der starken Wehr, voll Muster den Tapfern streichen die strenge Türe aufweichen, die trotzig und starr uns trennte von ihm. One tender moment from Wagner's Ring of the Nibelungen. There's going to be all sorts of events around the production, a sort of little ring festival of lectures and other events, so look out for that in April and May of next year. Now some more music for spring from Russia and from Italy. First, Alexander Romano is going to come back to give us one of Tchaikovsky's last songs, an evocation of a wonderful evening in a sort of magical forest. Then Carrie Ann is going to give us the brilliant end of the Russian winter in Rachmaninoff's Spring Waters. And then we're going to hear a little bit from Mascagni's opera L'Amico Fritz. In this story, the landowner Fritz has just come into an orchard where the farm girl Sudzel is working. It is a beautiful day, and spring being what it is, they are falling rapidly in love. The pretext
for their meeting and talking is that the cherries in the orchard where she is working are ripe. So they start talking about that. And that's why this has come to be known as the Cherry Duet. By the way, you've noticed that you can see everything that they're talking about on the screen above you, and I want to thank our program manager, Juan Kang, and the staff here at the Millennium Stage for making the super titles happen. So, please welcome first Alexander Romano for The Sun Has Set by Tchaikovsky, then Carrie-Ann Otaño, soprano, for Spring Waters, and then Michael Brandenburg will be back with Raquel Gonzalez for the Cherry Duet from L'Amico Fritz.
certo.
le ciliegie,
ciliegie, son di già mature.
ande la porpora vivo il colore, son dolci e tenere.
Di primavera somiglia un fiore fragrante e roseo.
Son pronta a coglierne un mazzolino e poi gettarvene.
Gettale subito nell'augerino, le saprò prendere. Fresche scintillano, vibrina ancora, son tutte erroride. Ma era quell'albero che sull'aurora bisbiglia il passero.
A quell'albero
Ciò che mi dice non sai comprendere.
io lo so intendere, che egli è felice nel canto mormora, sui rami floridi ai suoi piccini lieti aspettano, agili scherzano dei biancospini tra i fiori candidi.
Come le interpreti bene linguaggio,
Sembra che parlino, sembra salutino quel il raggio
fuor di qui dove trovarla.
L'incanto men risveglio d'ogni fiore.
Forse bella stagion primaverile, rinnovella fiori amori il dolce aprile.
Tutto il prato d'un tappeto s'è svoltato, al Signore sorza l'inno d'ogni parte.
Tu sei bella stagion primaverile, rinnovella fiore amori il dolce aprile. Sei pur bella.
Il risveglio d'ogni fiore.
Stagion primaverile, rinnovella fiore
We look forward to being back with you all in the fall for many more programs, including previews of Washington National Opera presentations and other things. Right now, as we leave you, we're going to look ahead to summer. Actually, if you were out last weekend, you may suspect summer has already arrived. This is from Kurt Weill's Street Scene. It takes place on a tenement block in 1940s New York. And in this particular number, it is a hot summer night, and the Italian immigrant Lippo Fiorentino is describing to his neighbors the best thing he's ever found in America, and that's the ice cream cone. Here's the Ice Cream Sextet from Kurt Weill's Street Scene.
First time I come to America.
What happened?
First thing I see is the ice cream cone.
The ice cream
Ever since I lick my tongue on it, I cannot leave it alone.
Oh, the ice cream cone.
Oh, the ice cream cone.
Oh, the ice cream cone.
Oh, the ice cream cone. As I stay in America, I never get tired of the ice cream cone.
You're a sketch.
It's wonderful.
Is it?
It's marvelous.
And all for a dime.
That's right. As good as any king could get on his throne.
Let's off to the ice cream cone. 3 cheers for the ice cream cone.
I dream,
I
I scream, I scream, I scream, I dream, I scream, I scream, I scream.
I'm nuts about ice cream. I'm nuts about ice cream. Ice cream. I'm nuts about ice cream. Ice cream.
When I go into the drugstore, it is a wonderful spot. There you find the marble fountain with a bill of fare cold and hot. The doctor, sailor, a worker can sit on a little round seater and buy from the soda jerker a million good things to eat. When I go you can get chicken heart,
I want
heart is aching, corn a faking, milk a shaking, mama making nuts and make your belly ache. But avoid the drugstore. But avoid the drugstore. Of all the drugstore ice cream is the queen, and all the drugstore ice cream is the queen.
Spumoni,
And chocolate,
and coconut, and apple, and pecan, strawberry, maple, walnut.
the gift of the gods to the man.
And how about the sodas?
And the banana splits.
The whipped cream special, 2 bits